What do you mean my audio cut out again? Can you hear me now? Hello?
First I was going to say that I could hear you. Is it like happening with the Wi-Fi actually?
Well, I don't know why it's happening. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Okay, now it works. I think I'm thinking with you, Rob. Do you want to try doing this sort of later, a little bit later?
I do that.
If you're gonna, you can't live.
No, I don't. Hello?
Hey, let me just think.
So today is actually a perfect day to do it.
No, it's not. It's like
Well, okay. Are you sure it's my? Because last time, last.
It's gonna be a little bit harder to debate.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, last time I ended a debate because someone said I was having audio problems when their headphones just weren't plugged in. So.
I mean, my headphones are like Bluetooth. Let me try.
Well, no, your headphones are. Yeah, maybe it's kind of the Bluetooth. Maybe that's a problem.
I'm not surprised. Okay, I'll try.
Plus, everyone knows we're starting at 8:30, so.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, my microphone unplugged the first time, but because it wasn't showing up on my other software either, so that's how I knew it was mine. But now it's my mic is working, so I don't know. Just Are you still there? By the way, if you're talking, I can't hear you. I heard that.
Right. Okay. So when I tried plugging them in, thinking would be even weirder. Okay. Let me just try headphones. These headphones right there. Let's. I feel like I should probably just not listen to this. My headphones were going to look for this.
You just toss them. All right. I have a Coke here. Honestly, I probably should just live stream this from my phone. I gotta pin them. Why am I not subscribed to myself? Here we go.
I'm back.
All right. So, how's it like to be in Virginia?
Wow. It's pretty good. It's just really pretty.
It's really pretty.
Wow. It's pretty quiet. Sorry.
Oh, quiet.
Quiet where I live. Yeah. Also, though, pretty beautiful sunsets that when you're waking up, it actually there's like a really good sunset.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. There's a lot of local folks here.
We have the best one though. The best national park.
Which state are you in?
Acadia. Oh, Maine.
Oh, you're in Maine. I see.
Yeah.
I remember. So what's the best national park in Maine?
Acadia.
All right.
Yep.
I remember.
Up in Bar
I
Harbor.
remember like rant about how that was the best the best park in the entire nation. They really was.
Oh, hard worker. It's one that I had bad mic quality. Wait till the HD version comes out. What's that?
I should do 138.5.
I did read it.
Nice. What do you think of it?
I thought it was excellent. I just like Because I said like the last 6 pages, they were perfect in my opinion. They were perfect. So
To be honest, some of the art issues, being not being a good artist and just being like a manager and direction, it's a lot harder to manage a project that was that scale and try to make sure. But and I believe he's also on. He has, well, not seen, but has done a lot of work into bringing the project to life, thanks to his passion and dedication to the project.
that's great.
Also, there's like a lot of times in the beginning, but you know, like those projects that you're like wanting to get up and down, but they
You know. Oh,
sorry if that felt a little bit.
I couldn't even hear what you were saying. You're breaking up.
Oh, damn. Okay. So, long story short, really hard project that I managed to get back together and make sure that, thanks to my artists and my manager, I managed to get it done. And we're going to work on making an anime and just making sure that when just recruiting now, I'd say I'm looking to get more staff members.
Wow, you have a whole team. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm building the whole team, and I have great collaborators.
That's awesome, bro.
Like, yeah, this is like bigger than some studios.
Wow.
Well, to be fair, it's not like AMC Cinema. It's not like
F those boys. F those boys. I hate those. I hate those people. You got like what now?
I wasn't. I felt like this.
It sucked.
I didn't even know if it was.
And oh yeah, I read all 3 parts. They're all very, very terrible. Hey, Chicken's trying to get you to go back to debate club.
It's just some kind of like. There's a lot of time. I mean, we can go from there.
Really?
We got alright,
Hello. Ratio should be joining us soon. Is the stream really that bad, you guys? Pig of greed. Raw. Oh, hey, Easy does it. Can you? I can hear everything. You're excited for them? Good. Yes. Should be very. Meet my boy Vetus. Hello. All right. So let's. Try this again. My boy Vetus is here. Someone talking to me? Definitely not on YouTube. Okay, where? All right, make sure everyone be cordial in the comments. Don't say mean stuff for no reason. All right. Where? I think I had. Do you remember what the times were, Ra?
Times for we actually recorded into, I believe it was like 8 and 40.
No. The what's up, Metis? Do you have something to say, or are you just greeting me?
Wait, what?
Someone's talking to me in chat. Where? Hold on, I'm trying to find it. Come on.
Are you having fun with OBS?
No, I'm not. It's okay. Here it is. There it is. Okay, 5-minute opening statement, 10-minute rebuttal, 15 crosshex, 10-minute closing statement. Okay, that's what it was.
Oh, the structure. Okay. You were talking about the structure?
Yeah. Wow, the whole gang's here. This should be interesting. Away from the comment section. They are. Alrighty. 5-minute opening statement. Okay, this is your last chance. Do you think we make it longer, or is 5 minutes okay?
Yeah, it's like 5 minutes and start on honestly. Well, that's it.
That seems already past. 5 minutes is too long. Opening statement, Edith? I mean, whatever you want to do, I can go first. You can go first if you want. So, okay, just so everyone knows, it's 5-minute opening statement. Hold on. Wait, Rob. Wait.
Well, people would say that.
That's the term, but it's fine. All right. All right. So many people are turned off by the sheer amount of violence that is seen. We have not only enemy soldiers being killed, not only innocent civilians, children being killed. We have people who are sympathetic to the alien cause, even though their environment will dictate. But that is all irrelevant to the facts of the decision that Paradise was in. In fact, her only ally, which would be, we're just using them and taking advantage of them for their natural resources, specifically their iceberg stone. Now, I'm sure all of us know what happens when countries that pretend to be nice just to get someone's natural resources, how that happens. We saw that in Iraq with Saddam Hussein. We saw that in Libya with Muammar Gaddafi, how those blew up in their faces and how the countries who start those revolutions didn't stick around and they left, leaving a power vacuum, which is why ISIS got started, and it's also why there's slave markets in Libya, right? So that is not a good system to have. There is no reason why a patriot of any capacity who wants the best for his country would allow themselves to be bent to the whims of one selfish party who's only interested in the national resources. And as for the rest of the world, they were so bent on destroying parity that they relied on their collective hatred for world peace. And even those who were sympathetic to the Eldian cause on the continent of Marley treated the island devils, as they say, like third-class citizens, saying that they need to be exterminated as well. And of course, we all know the Liberio Festival, where Tiber got up in front of all the world, wielding a influence, saying that he as well to exterminate people. So, although the violence of the rumbling may be off-putting or unconscious, it is necessary because the other factor is that they are years behind everyone else. 100 years. They didn't walk in the dark without electricity back in the days. Aaron's crystal, I think they had like a crystal that would illuminate. That changed everything for them. These guys were having light bulbs and ice cream and cars and all sort of stuff. So let's say he just takes out a military base. Let's say he destroys a fleet. They're 100 years ahead of them. They have a massive population and they have a motivated population. They already had prejudice about aliens beforehand from coming back and invading their small island. Parity only defense is the fact that it's an island. And all that means is that you need time. All wars end with a peace negotiation. And all the Yeagerists want is simply for that peace negotiation to be dictated by fair or Eldian terms without pressure from anyone. Which leads to my other point is that they are extremely ignorant on geopolitics. They were heavy isolationists for hundreds of years, 100 years. They had no idea how anything worked. They had no idea who to trust, who not to trust. And so Aaron needs to put them in a position where they are the strongest people in the world. If I'm fine with my brother and we're going back and forth, he hits me, I hit him, I hit him, he hits me, I go and say, you know what, brother, here's a peace offering. Here's a sandwich, right? Or let me buy you a sandwich, right? Let me buy you lunch. That it might work. Maybe it will work. But if I break his legs, I know for sure I'm going to be safe. And someone who has experienced such hardship, like the Yeagerists, at the hands of outside forces who are much more powerful than them, they're just going to break the leg. And it's unfortunate people have to die. It's unfortunate people have to. Fortunate people were going to have to suffer. But when we went into war, World War II, to stop the Japanese and the Germans for doing incredible atrocities, lots of innocent people died. And that's just the way it goes. And we're praised for it fully so. That's the rest of my time.
Okay, so first thing about how you were saying, let me just assume details and some of this. You were saying about how that she He's the I was thinking more the fact that she was
Alrighty, I will rebuttal your opening statement. All right, so in Ra's opening statement, he mentioned first and foremost that there was lots of people who were willing to help, not just the Eldings, but the Islanders in parody. That, of course, is true, although they were very small in number, and their strength was not even close to even just the regular forces of Marley's military, which she possessed million soldiers total. They had a few being volunteers here and there, and they had a pilot. That's not really going to help them against anything. Not to mention the entire world, who again used Eldia as a crutch for world peace, as we already know. He also mentioned that Aaron instigated the war by attacking Liberio. It is very possible that he did indeed instigate the war in Liberio. The problem is that even if he did do that, it does not change someone from being a Yeagerist or not being a Yeagerist, because that still means that the rumbling is necessary. Aaron's just making it more necessary, that fact, which I believe is irrelevant to I believe that it's irrelevant to this argument. We can get into that in cross-ex later, but I believe whether or not Aaron was instigating it or Aaron was whatever, it doesn't matter. The rumbling is still necessary, sort of out of your own admission. So, yes, maybe it was instigated, perhaps it was just a strategic strike on a military objective, which is very true. And then, sort of the same thing, he said in his opening statement that Aaron did want it. I'm not questioning that. Just so we can nip this in the bud, I'm not questioning Aaron wanted. Aaron is completely evil. There's no redemption for Aaron. Why Aaron is doing the rumbling is completely irredeemable. I'm not Aaron, though. I'm more of a flock guy. I'm just a Yeager. So I want the country to be safe. I want her to be fine. I'm an American, so I know the joys of having a $700 billion military budget. I'm able to sleep very peacefully at night, knowing that if any country wants to do anything, they're under our thumb. That's maybe not. I don't want LDO to be, oppressing anybody, but they should be in a position like we are now, where we dictate geopolitics. And so, and not just for a selfish reason, not because I want to have it, because I'm on a power trip, it's because that's the way to guarantee safety. Because any country that has power will abuse that power against smaller and weaker countries, right? So, unfortunately, as Sasha's father said, it is very much kill or be killed. In order for parity to survive, the rumbling is necessary. And yeah, maybe Aaron is making it more necessary than it needs to be, but to me, that's relevant. We can get into that in the cross-ex. All right, I see the rest of my time.
Okay, so let's talk about how you're saying about the perspective of
You're asking me questions right now. Wait, I think it's 15 minutes. Wait, hold on. All right, so you're asking me questions for 15 minutes. I cannot ask you any questions. You can only ask me questions.
So you're saying that about how you're saying that you're thinking of not as a perspective of a Aaron himself. You're thinking of the perspective of a Yeagerist who Aaron promised that, yes, I'd eliminate every person on this earth, regardless of the reason, I'd eliminate it and whatever. You're saying from that perspective?
Well, yeah, it's a bit more nuanced than that. I never entirely subscribe to full 100% rumbling, but I definitely didn't subscribe to the 50-year plan and just military installations. I think lots and lots of people need to die, pretty much. But so, what I saw 80%, what I saw in the manga, 80% looked pretty decent, but maybe it wasn't decent because again, we don't really know what exactly got rumbled. But yes, to make the answer more short, yes, I am coming from the perspective of a person like Flock saying Aaron's going to kill everybody. Aaron's pretext, not his actual reason. But just a little bit of nuance there. I don't actually think like full 100% rumbling is entirely necessary. Yes. Well, because again, it relies on other countries not attacking them. It basically relies on other countries' kindness, which is I can't even think of a worse bet, right? Yeah, I can't even think of a worse bet. It's a very terrible bet.
But the show destruction.
No, because the Titan powers, number one, are extremely vulnerable because I assume that Marley and the rest of the world are much better at espionage, especially international espionage, than the Eldians are. And on top of that, the Titan powers are about to become a very, very irrelevant very, very soon. And we saw that at the beginning of season 4. We saw how much the Titan powers were struggling. Yes, the Colossal Titans would be much, much more powerful than what we saw in. Did you just interrupt me? Okay. Yes, they would. Oh no. Yes, the Colossal Titans would be much, much more powerful than what we saw in the Mideast Alliance War. But still, after the advent of guided missiles and larger explosives and all other stuff, it's not guaranteed that MAD is still inactive. MAD ended about 50, 100 years ago for LVO. Who?
Even if we had technology that would surpass the Titans, that we'd never be able to overcome a force to get over that running with us.
Talk about is Armin. Didn't Texas say that they're extremely? I mean, no, I can't ask you any questions. Well, I don't really care what Armin said because Armin is. Who's Wiley? Willie. Oh, Tiber. Tiber said.
I say Wiley because it's like Dr. Wiley from
Okay, yeah, that's great. we have limited time, but so what were you saying? What did he say?
Didn't Wiley say that there'd never be a technology that could surpass the world?
Yeah, well, I live in the 21st century and we have nuclear weapons, so I think that settles that.
All right, so would that technology exist for even 50 years down the line for those kinds of people? It's not like technology is the same power, is it? I'm just asking.
Well, I mean, what we see. I mean, we see pretty much the same technology that we see in World. It's generally established because of the Black Plague that it happens around the time of World War I, and we see the Zeppelins. So I'd say technology is advancing pretty fast, and also Marley has an entire. Were you saying something? Marley has an entire continent, and that's never been done before in human history. So who knows what sort of power they can conjure up? So no, I think that nukes are a very, very likely scenario because again, all it takes is really one desperate person, and the war doesn't even have to start over anything. The war could start over anything. Anything. It doesn't have to even be. The weapons and guided missiles they're a very, very with the amount of people that Marley has under influence, the entire continent of Africa, including some parts of Europe. I think that it's very possible Titan's power would be surpassed soon. Maybe not soon, but eventually.
Okay, I'm just double checking because Zeppelins were originally formulated. You said that it was like World War I technology, right?
Yeah.
But there's an omission of tanks or there's trench warfare, but there's a significant omission of tanks or even like basic fighter jets or basic jets were being developed around the world.
Really? Fighter jets? What are these fighter jets? Oh wait, sorry, I can't ask any questions. That's illegal. What?
Let me simplify it. Do you really think that because there's many aspects of World War I present necessarily that aren't necessarily present in Attack on Titans?
Yep.
Are you sure that it's going to be World War I?
Am I sure? Well, that's the problem.
Are you sure it's World War I technology specific?
From what I'm looking at, most of the important aspects are from World War One, especially since Isayama matched up the timeline so well across multiple points of reference, including the fact when Aaron said that the Titans existed 100 years ago and the manga ended in 2020. It looks in what I did some calculations, and according to some calculations, Aaron dies in 2020. So I think it's from the office perspective, it's supposed to be World War One. No, World War One, not post World War One. Around that time. Yeah.
Because there's also multiple things, but I will get into that later. We were also talking about how we were talking also a little bit about fair turn. Why would like you were saying, you didn't support a full rep. Why would even 50% rumbling, 20 or whatever, why would that necessitate getting the entire world on board with listening to Paradise? Why would the genocide make them listen?
Because
even if a full extermination happened, what's going to stop? That's not necessarily, even if full extermination happens, would that even actually? What if full extermination of the outside world lead to or would that lead to long-term peace?
Hold on a second. I'm going to pause the timer. Hold on a second. Sorry, headphone users. All right. Would a full extermination cause long-time peace? Well, as Theodore Roosevelt said, speak softly and carry a big stick. Or as oversimplified puts it, bigger gun diplomacy. By the way, I just posted an inside here. The reason why it doesn't matter their intentions, whether they're selfish or selfless, doesn't matter because Parody has a lot of power, right? So again, if I break his legs and I want to make peace with him, he has no choice but to make peace with me. I can take him out to lunch later. I can help with his leg later. It's just under my terms, and I know that I'm going to be protected from his wrath. So that's how that would work.
What about Erwin's point about how if a conflict started on Paradise, it would spread a fire that would exterminate the entire nation?
Pixis, yeah.
Pixis and Erwin both said that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what was your question?
What do you think about that?
What I think about that? I think he's very right. Civil wars are very extremely devastating. In fact, us being Americans, we know that we fought in 2 world wars, and we've had the highest kill count in our civil war to happen 100 years prior, almost 100 years prior. So yeah, I totally agree with that. The fact that civil war, and that's why this Aaron or Yeagerist should have a 2-front plan. This is really where fascism comes in, because not that I agree with fascism, but this is where the theology of the ideology of fascism comes in. What you want is you want to be safe from external threats, and then you want to have a strong sense of patriotism and unity inside the country. So that's where Mussolini, the whole fascism movement came out from, because they wanted them to be stronger together. That's why they had the sticks and the axe. One stick is weak by itself, but together it's stronger. That's pretty much the sentiment. So yeah, the rumblings didn't take care of the inside problem. The politicians inside need to take care of the inside problem. That's what I think of that.
Okay, that's fair, but it's also okay. So you're saying that isn't kind of a bad example?
Isn't what?
Considering he was like on the upside down, I'm not.
Oh, I mean, yeah, Mussolini was a bad guy. I'm saying that's what I'm saying. Well, because Yeagerist.
Bad guy, bad example. Because his
yeah.
Ideology was.
Yeah. Well, that's why I brought. Yeah. So, sorry. So to clarify, That's why I brought it up, because the Yeagers are usually accused of being fascists, and that's why I said this is where the fascism could come up from, right? But no, I don't agree with fascism. I'm an American. I love my liberty, but
Well, I'm not saying you do agree with fascism. It's just saying like because generally fascists are the ones with the
mm-hmm.
Are you going to make timer?
You have 3 minutes.
Okay. So you're saying so like you were saying. So you're saying 100%. You don't feel like it's necessary, right?
Yeah, whenever a Flock would go on and whenever Aaron would go on, I would always be like, okay, I definitely support this side the most, but you don't really need to kill every single person. It's not entirely necessary.
Actually, here's a question: would Paradise even be able to eliminate every person on Earth? There's like 1.6 billion people going off like 1900s.
Yeah, 1.6, 1 point. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it's possible because of the natural resources that would be destroyed. I mean, the food and the farming and the animals and all that stuff. So even if some did hide in a cave or escape the steam or hid in the ocean or whatever they chose to do, they would wake up and they'd find themselves in a wasteland with nothing to eat or no shelter. So yeah, I think it would.
I mean, only know the Titans are incredibly light, aren't
they? Mm-hmm.
So why would anything other than the capsule be?
Did you see? Well, 139 showed us what happened with the rumbling. It was it's pretty devastating. Well, I mean, the ground was flattened. It was pretty bad. 139.
I know.
Okay.
But anyways.
That's not your timer. That's my dad texting me. But go ahead. You have a minute left. Actually, I'll add a minute 40 for that interruption.
Okay, so
you got 2 minutes now.
Yeah.
You have 2 minutes.
So about like the rumbling, this is just my opinion, but it's not a question. I just didn't think that even the rumbling would kill everybody because there's many cases where, just look outside with. Are you sure that they'd not be able to survive even if they move through? Are you sure about? Because one of the season 4 is that you're not manage to figure out a way to survive against type. So you're sure that there's not going to be anything that they've heard ahead of time?
I am not absolutely sure that literally everyone outside the walls will die as a result of or after the rumbling. But again, I never really subscribed to 100% rumbling. But so the amount of people that will be killed, even if Aaron thought he killed 100%, would be sufficient for parity.
I mean, even if 0.1% of the population survives, it's still like numbers Paradise by a decent margin.
Yeah. India both. But
anyways, there's also even if 0, and also there's other nuances like having to travel across America.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, I think that's so much.
Well, yeah, you have like 30 seconds left. All right.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Hold on a second. Oh yeah, I forgot. It's the same chief all over again. Yeah, I sorry, I forgot. Yeah, he was. Yeah. Yeah, we stayed longer actually. Yeah. Just 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Yeah, he did. It was another guy. Yeah. Yep. I don't know. I think he just took the money. Yep. All right. That's great. Yep. Yep. Okay. Yep. All right. Love you. Hello.
Oh, you want to try broadcast examination?
Did you call? Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. I'm debating someone. All right. Love you. Don't worry, guys. That was just the actual if you know. But yeah, I got freaking Saint Chiefed. Freaking his girlfriend interrupted the debate last time. So freaking annoying. It was my turn to cross X. Yeah. Okay. So my 15 minutes is starting. Okay. So this entire time, the Wharf parody time, we never saw a viable solution brought forth. All we saw was thralls of people who wanted to save as many lives as possible, and then when they were back into the corner, just screamed platitudes, genocide is wrong. What would you say is a real viable solution that makes it certain that Paradise Island's inhabitants are safe from the outside world?
I've got two solutions, depending on what you want to do with them. So the first solution is, like I was saying about how Riley was very afraid of his enemies, have Aaron not attack, and actually, I'm not going to say like, I was going to say like, no, not God, but like Gandhi, in a sense that like, he would show that he is not this guy who's Riley claimed he was, in fields, but the first, he would be showing about Riley was the fraud he claimed he was, and that his family was the fraud.
I see Flash Invaders.
Slowly, that would lead, actually I'm writing a story about this, that would lead Paradise to, not lead Paradise to be on friendly terms with everybody, because that's going to be really hard even if like everybody wasn't racist against aliens. But what he can do is if he can't make Paradise immediately trust him, then what they can do is make Marley less trusting by not attacking, not invading, and if that 6 months of time that was left to actually build up the war and build up the efforts to actually stop them, then Aaron could have done a lot of different efforts to try to know them because he knows the future, he knows what these weapons are, he knows how to take out limbs, or B, he can try to infiltrate Marley and try to inspire Eldians to, and as well as like people inside Marley who are like ambassadors, etc., to not be to be like, wait, why is Riley doing this? Because right now, at the end, they're cheering, but it's a trust me for basically. For them, they didn't even know that Aaron would truly attack what Aaron is, what Riley is saying. And the real military leaders, they looked unimpressed. Most of the military leaders actually were looking unimpressed. And they didn't, why would they be impressed with this showing of their militaries being like, Why would they be impressed by these simple? Because really, it takes more than sentiment to make a country go to war. If it was just racism that could bring all of the world to war on paradise, then they would have attacked. Now they could have attacked long ago. They could have attacked without a speech. Why? So there, so they could attack and make it like it's a huge loss for morally, and that paradise was this devil that needed to be eliminated. That's my first solution. Basically, either Aaron or Super try to distrust morally itself.
I see. Okay. Does it?
Sorry, you want me to cut off the second one, or do you want me?
Actually, no. If you'll go ahead.
The second solution, like I was saying, was a modification of the 50-year by causing like partial rumblings to happen. Not a full rumbling. I'm not going for a full genocide. I'm not into it. There is a partial rumbling that he can do to basically show his military might. He can basically bring like that terrifying sight that all of these guys were seeing in chapter 130 or episode 12 of season 4. He can basically be sight of these giant beasts got these Marleyan soldiers who were hating Albions and wanted to do anything they could to eliminate them. Guess what it got them to do? It got them to scream, to run away with fear. It got them to be in a vulnerable position. What Aaron can use that to either A, take advantage, to call out to Albions to say, hey, we want a peace deal, or whatever. I believe, what is his name? Awestruck Vox. He ended up actually suggesting a similar idea. Regardless of his, like his standing on the whatever, he brings up an excellent point. He can use sheer intimidation and fear in order to cause the Marleyan military to submit. They did that for people to do so. They were able to do so to cause the entire Eldian military of Grand to submit. They can do so for many Marley itself. Right now, they've lost a lot of their key leaders. A lot of their forces on Marley were sent to Marley with just the outside world to be the ones that were fighting against rumbling going towards the end of Africa. Regardless, they dedicated a lot of their resources to throwing at paradise, and they would obviously be, and Yelena even suggests that a destroying of a single ship would bring an entire country's economy reeling. They're in desperate times, and as Nazi Germany, any other situations have shown, desperate times comes to desperate measures. And we Nazi Germany that even such horrific Hitler was able to do such horrific sentences towards the Jewish population in order to convince them to say, yes, we need to we need pure Aryan blood
Mm-hmm.
It's horrific.
Mm-hmm.
But because it was in a desperate situation, and they were wanting a escape.
Yeah.
Really,
Yep.
to be able to. Sorry if I'm going really long.
Yeah, I gotta wrap this up soon.
Fear and intimidation into them.
Mm-hmm.
So they would be in a vulnerable, even willing to eat off the hands of the devils they so hated.
Mm-hmm.
They worship.
Yeah.
It's these very well, they're still difficult. But these are two solutions that either could get Marley off their back and or off their back, or it could just flat out get world to kiss us.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Obviously, solutions. That's my.
Well, the first plan relied on Aaron not attacking Willie during the speech and making him look like or making him look wrong, and trying to turn the world against Marley. Basically, the second option was to use intimidation and whatnot. So basically, what you're telling me is that you are trying to control Marley's mind so that they don't use their power to attack Parody. Doesn't that still mean that Parody's survival hinges on the actions of Marley?
I mean, I guess.
Okay. Okay.
It's not like it's fair, but it's not like it's not like Marley's team can't do any work. If Marley, even if Marley's most and raises guys who are saying, "Oh yeah, we were really positive about everyone surviving, and we're in the house and." They were willing to help out until, like, of course, the worms last everything. But anyways.
Okay, so you admitted that the act that Parody's survival and all her citizens are dependent on whether or not Marley feels, or the rest of the world, that fight, all the countries of the world, feel intimidated or turn on Marley.
Sure, but it's
okay.
Also, it's not like all the 130 were just like all the people at 130 were literally running their asses away from running their asses away from technology and on the run, even though they knew it was who's not going to be intimidated?
Oh, they will be intimidated. Oh, here's the thing. Marley, the Marley aristocracy. I can't hear what you're saying. Anyway, the Marley aristocracy, the Marley. Oh, okay. The Marley aristocracy lost wealth, and the Marley citizenry lost family during the run, scared and under Parody's thumb and fearing for their lives. So I'm asking you, is that a recipe that you want for Parody to have people who lost wealth and family members to be scared of Eldia? What are they going to do? Be afraid and not eliminate that threat? That's obviously what? Yeah, you can ask for clarification.
So you document you're thinking about the fear of the rumbling and stuff is not good to rely on. Is that what you mean?
Well, yeah, that and the fact that like Aaron, they lost family members. So you have very extremely motivated people. You got people who may not have wealth.
I'm not suggesting for like literally aliens or I'm not suggesting for literally like 80% and like 20%.
Okay.
Like literally just.
You said you wanted them to be intimidated and afraid.
Afraid of LDR to the point where they'd be able to make contracts.
Yeah, okay. So, and that's the other thing. That's it. We'll get to that later. But so they're afraid of Eldia.
Sorry about the asset, but I remember you were talking about how they should be able to make their own contracts.
Yeah. Oh, I'll get to that later. But listen, you have these people who are scared of Eldia and scared of people who they think are inferior to them. Do you think that they're not going to try to eliminate that threat and eliminate their lives? So they would strive to overtake Eldia. like they did in the Great Titan War.
That's what going to elimination from thousands of people killed. Like there's many people in thousands of people within states. I mean, everybody. I mean, to be fair, the Middle East has a lot of things.
Okay. Yeah, we have a limited time.
But anyways, but that being said, there's
Come
a lot
on.
of killed, and even either intentionally or unintentionally, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's impossible to either forgive or change hearts. Like, for example, I was going to bring up like Japan after World War. Well, it's also motivated by a personal interest, which, yeah, of course it was, because they wanted to win they wanted to win the World War, and this advance, they didn't know didn't know that it was for this. Yeah, sorry, demanded.
No. Go ahead. No, it's good.
Okay, so for example, Japan and America, they were literally pretty. They were bad. It was pretty bad. Their situation.
Yeah.
Pearl Harbor with
Yep.
a lot of many Japanese after like hearing about the U.S. like potentially bringing out actually bringing out resources and trading with Japan, even if they weren't directly in the war. They were still funding sides of the war itself.
Yep.
Even after Nagasaki and Hiroshima bombings, there was definitely a lot uneasy and justifiably hatred towards both sides.
Yep.
Anyways, there's justifiable hatred on both sides, but well, now we're not exactly in a position where Japan hates us, or vice versa. And US are fairly strong allies. We still end up protecting those many of our European allies.
Yep.
So it's not as if starts out of fear or intimidation can develop into the allyship or even like a partnership.
Yeah, I can. Keywords can.
It's very quick, and I guess an enemy, and this also has to do a little bit with the first solution that I proposed. You've heard of the saying, this is like an important question. You've heard of the saying, enemy of an enemy is my friend.
Yep.
You've heard of the rhetorical.
Yep. Yeah.
So, it applies throughout, where basically there was staunchly anti-capitalist, but partnered with the U.S. in order to defend Germany and was planning on defeating Japan, but that didn't happen. The U.S. was able to make allies out of previous enemies, and even when we called like Stalin the communist, godless, school fucking demon or whatever we called communists during the Cold War. Whatever we called them, we were able to partner with them in order to achieve common goals, which for Russia was to get under their control and seize what they and basically get revenge on them. And for the U.S., it was to stop the war in Germany as well as fighting a two-front war.
That was the timer.
But anyways, yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess that's the end of the cross-X. So you can go to your closing minutes, unless perhaps more time can be allotted.
I mean,
Do I want more time?
I feel like
Yeah, I would like more time.
I mean, you want to ask more questions?
I do, actually, yes. I'll add 5 more minutes.
Do you want to ask questions, or do you want?
Well, no, I'm in the cross-X. Okay. So So Aaron could have, I totally agree. Aaron could have started a peace negotiation after he started rumbling. Didn't even need to do the right after he started the rumbling, and after he made that speech, he could have sued that. The problem is that, as Pixis said, they are extremely ignorant on geopolitics. Just like you wouldn't trust a 14-year-old to sign any major contract because he doesn't know much. You wouldn't trust an isolationist country to sign a peace agreement with multiple world powers. Who knows the endless amount of things that would be put in there? And again, Marley is still more powerful than Parody, especially if we're not going to use the rumbling.
I mean, using but are you asking a question or what?
Oh, yes. The question was, do you really trust that parity representatives who are suing for peace will be able to ensure absolute fair terms? And on top of that, that they can make sure that Morley cannot violate the peace agreement.
I mean, there's the first two options aren't necessarily mutually exclusive. It's not like Marley isn't particularly close to the rest of the world. And as Marley admits, they're actually really
Hello.
we can do so good stuff. And really that's and while they definitely did have powerful weapons, really they need to be titans. For one sneak out and like the rumbling. I'm saying here's the point I'm saying is that they don't even have to have a full or partial rumbling. They just have to make sure that they are able to go through intimidation that they're able to negotiate from terms.
Yes, like, what I'm asking is
like
how could you possibly trust that Parody would be able to get fair terms with multiple world powers who have experience in geopolitics? And on top of that, how can you trust that if Marley wants to violate the agreement, Parody won't let them?
I mean, it's the same reason that we use mutually assured destruction. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah, we have the greatest nuclear arsenal.
Example for paradise. I won't rumble you if you I will rumble you if you carpet bomb.
So you are going to use the rumbling, and
I'm saying as a use as an actual threat because the problem king is that he retreated but threatened to use the rumbling if he had ever gotten it. All Aaron needs to do is show that he's willing to use the rumbling, which obviously he is.
Mm-hmm.
And intimidation that would cause with the rumbling would actually like be that intimidation that caused by it would actually
So again, this is to Marley's actions. Marley not doing something stupid. You say, Matt, yeah, I agree with that it would work, but it's still dependent on what Marley decides to do. And no one can hold Marley accountable. How can Marley
do a lot of this stuff in the scenes? They decided to send some children into kind of reclaim the family. But anyways, let's not even.
I mean, Marley. Well, here's the thing. Number one, Marley has an entire continent. That can't be argued. Number two, the Middle East alliance is a rising power among the countless other countries. So again, this is all dependent on the countries not doing anything to Eldia. No, Eldia cannot hold them accountable, but with empty threats, and let those threats not be empty. Let those threats not be empty. If something happens, if they do carpet bomb them, and they do no rumbling, then what? Then what? Well, so they will do the rumbling. Yeah, it's a timer.
This motorcycle thing.
Really? It's just a regular iPhone one. Anyway,
It just like sounds like, you know. Anyways. Do you want to? What time do you want to get closing statement?
no, I hold on a second. I'm just gonna turn on the light and we can do closing statements.
All right.
I think you're up first.
Okay.
You good, bro? Hello? Fucking hell, bro. You guys hear me? Can you guys hear? Bruh. Fucking hell, man. Hmm? Hello? Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
You can hear? Oh, thank God.
What happened?
Bro, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just traumatized. Yeah. Hold on. I'm trying to invite someone to the debate. Hold on a second. Can you guys still hear me? Hello? Okay. I'm just trying to invite someone. Does anyone know Penguin from Enjoyers? Is anyone a friend of his?
Oh, I know.
Okay, can you invite him? He wants to hear.
He sometimes says like something in there or question. Let me know.
Yeah, if you're friends, you can invite him.
So it's like,
He should at least hear the winner's closing statement. Just search for it, bro. Not you. I'm talking to you. Found? Okay. Yeah. Just invite him. Yeah. Bully Bateman.
Oh.
Yeah. He's been asking to join Epic.
Do you want me to send a link to the YouTube video, or do you want me to send
the video sucks? Just put it up there for the other people to see. And then the HD version is like only 30 minutes long. I forgot to hit record again. I don't think I've ever actually recorded the full debate I've had, which is a real shame. Actually, you know what? I got it.
Also, now that I think about it, there's a friend who just brought this amazing thing up. If Aaron eliminates all life on Earth, we would also end up backstabbing him.
How?
Because, like, if he eliminates everything, he eliminates all life everywhere. That includes trees, which even if all the trees outside paradise die, that's going to cause a significant increase in CO2 inside our atmosphere. Just realize that. My scientific friend is like telling me this right now.
I mean, perhaps.
Even if Aaron like
Parody was self-sufficient beforehand.
It's not about self-sufficient. It's about literally the atmosphere becoming unable to human life. Sure, there's like concentrated things, but the atmosphere itself, it moves around and it lies.
But wouldn't there be less pollution because there's less people?
Well, I mean, it's just I'm saying that if Aaron eliminates literally life, because he's going to probably try to eliminate life, not just people. What you're saying is he ends up actually knocking out a significant portion of the trees, and even if the trees are not like a significant part, not as significant with like producing oxygen, taking in CO2 as people like them to be. They still contribute a decent amount of the CO2. They still contribute to a decent amount of the oxygen and CO2 removal in our atmosphere. If you eliminate them, even if there's like paradise would be self-sufficient from like with food and resource wise, but what happens when your atmosphere, the entire planet, literally becomes too toxic to support life?
Oh,
Imagine if every tree in the entire just flat out like was broken open, whatever. That's a huge amount of CO2 in the atmosphere.
I see. Well, I'm not a scientist, so I can't say whether it's true or false.
Now that I think about it, Aaron's just it's just like stupid all around. He ends up preventing if they expand outside of paradise. So he real efforts to do that, but real reason to do that, because literally a life to exist, and it would take a long time for any kind of real settlements to happen out. That's obviously going to need to happen someday.
Isayama,
So,
stop, Isayama.
do know some science.
We're not insulting people here.
Actually, my friend just was suggesting that to me right now, so I asked for interrupting me.
Oh, Isayama's just calling people names. Not the time, Isayama. Not the time. Alrighty.
Aaron has looked up. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to start.
Aaron was like, speaking of which, I forgot to mention, Lily has the same intelligence as Connie. Connie and him have the same wits. I don't know if that's going
Alright. Okay. Alright, let's start opening statements. Oh, hey, Penguin, you made it. Okay, just in time. Alrighty, closing statement time. So what we saw from my opponent was he wouldn't like to admit it, but what I think most of us would see, even people who support the alliance, as an utter lack of solutions for parity. See, the whole rumbling was never really about parity from the alliance's perspective. It was about saving as much human life as possible, which is of no concern to Aaron or to me, quite frankly. It's extremely sad, but nation before world, right? And that is a sentiment that all the rulers of their people's respective countries should take. And so we see a lot of solutions because really there is no solution. All the solutions hinge upon other countries' compliance. Eldia is just getting involved in world politics. They don't know what a fair agreement is. You wouldn't trust a 16-year-old to sign a major house loan. Why? Because they're not well versed in the area of loaning. Actually, people take it a step further and say that even adults, well versed adults, aren't entirely capable of signing loans because rich people know more about that. That is a small fringe people though, but the logic still follows. They're extremely ignorant, as Pix has said, about world politics. And on top of that, no one can hold Marley accountable. For example, tons of war crimes get committed all over the world, and they're not being held accountable. Why? Because only war crimes are committed by countries that are not world powers get prosecuted. A great example of this would be the Hague Invasion Act during the War on Terror, which saw countless atrocities and war crimes committed across the globe. George W. Bush signed a piece of legislation that would allow the United States to invade the Netherlands if any American soldier was held there for trial. That's what the international court is. And China, Russia, and the United States all opted out of the international court. They simply said, you can't prosecute me because I said so. Marley, and you could even say the Mideast Alliance, is in the same position. They have almost unmitigated authority. The only authority that Eldia has to fall back on is MAD, with the rumbling, which is dependent upon having a Titan of royal blood and the founding Titan, which is very shaky ground. The royal blood can end. The royal blood can be turned over the Marley side. The royal blood can be influenced. There's so much bad things that can happen to that. So much. It's all dependent on other countries. Other countries may call that bluff. They may not.
the only reason why I think that they wouldn't call the bluff is because Aaron's personality is so to do the rumbling. But if, say, Razor was in control, I think a lot of psychological operators would know that he wouldn't do the rumbling and call his bluff on it anyway. Not to mention the fact that Parody has a vast amount of iceberg stone, which would also be looked upon as valuable resource for the rest of the world, which would also incur another invasion. Because believe me, money is a much, much more powerful motivator for war than racism is. And so all this to say is that Parody needed two things. They needed to be in control. They needed to be in control of the world, basically mean they needed to step their feet into politics. They needed to learn. There's a big learning curve. And the technology needed to be ahead of the rest of the world. And the only way that I see, I may be wrong, but the only way that I see how that happens is if Parody, if Aaron rumbles a significant portion of the world. And I have been open to other solutions for quite some time. And I have seen none that really guarantee that make sure Parody does not have to rely on anyone. As you said, maybe Aaron should have instigated. Perhaps. If me and my brother are fighting and I take him out to lunch, perhaps he will stop fighting me. Perhaps he'll stop fighting me. But if my brother is The Rock and I'm me, and only thing I can do is I have to break his legs or I have to use Mad, which I already discussed why Mad was on shaky ground and why it was so disastrous. And people throw out Mad, back and forth nowadays after we're out of the Cold War. But during the Cold War, we were in a very, 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 very dangerous time. That is really not the place you want to be at. What you want is one world power, right? You want Parody to just be overwhelmingly more powerful. Now the United States is more powerful than Russia. We gave away money to Ukraine that Russia spends annually on our military. So that is why we were in a peaceful situation and we're not afraid of Russia. Not because of Mad. We were very, very afraid during Mad. And that is not the type of environment that you want for Parody. He also mentioned that they can be allies after. Of course they could be allies after. Us and Japan are allies after. He's completely right. That was by sheer happenstance. And as an American, I know that we dictate that relationship, that Japan was dependent on us. We helped rebuild their country, not the other way around. And on top of that, I don't know if you know this or not, but if any Japanese people are in this audience, you would know that there's a giant political issue over the military bases that we have in Japan and how much Japan pays for and how much we pay for it and how much intelligence is on and so on and so forth. You'll notice there's no military bases in the United States, even of allied countries, right? And that's for a very specific. So with all that being said, I think it is plainly obvious to most people, if you are trying to just make sure, guarantee that Parody's Parody can be a fully independent, happy nation that does not have to rely on the whims of any other country, you will see plainly the very, very ugly and sad truth is that a lot of people outside the walls have to die. But it's like Mikas has said, right? That's the world that they gave us, right? There's only so many heartstrings that we have left to pull on. So you have to make a choice. Is it Parody or is it Parody's shaky future? I see the rest of my time.
Alright, so I don't know if it was in the book.
Yeah.
But it felt like we're still kind of repeating some of the same things.
Yeah, that's what a closing statement's supposed to be.
Never mind. Really good to go.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Make sure to go in the results, guys. Type what you think. See.
Anyways, sorry about that.
Alrighty.